Did I ever truly know my own children? The question haunts me as I stand in my kitchen, 3 weeks after Russell's funeral, clutching the ceramic mug Kathleen gave me years ago. It's world's best grandma lettering, chip but defiant. The steam from my untouched coffee curls upward, a ghost of warmth in a house that feels like a stranger's. I'm Michelle Lawson, 63, a widow whose world has unraveled since Russell's heart attack stole him away. My reflection in the hallway mirror startles me. Gray hair needing color, lines etched deeper by grief. The phone rings again, relentless, pulling me from the fog. It's Donald, my 32-year-old son, his voice sharp with impatience, the same tone he used as a teenager begging for cash. "Mom, we need to talk about the house," he says, no greeting, no softness. "It's too big for you alone, the mortgage payments." I cut him off, my voice flat. There is no mortgage. Russell paid it off 5 years ago, a detail I never shared with Donald or Darlene, my daughter. They assumed I was struggling, and I let them. His laugh, sharp like Russell's but without the warmth, cuts through. "Mom, please. Dad's pension barely covers your medications." I walked to the window, staring at the garden we tended for 23 years. Roses unpruned, herbs overgrown, monuments to loss. "Your concern is touching," I say, catching my tired eyes in the glass. Donald presses on, saying he and Darlene discussed my options over dinner as if I'm a problem to solve, not their mother. They want me to sell the house, move into Darlene's basement, and fund their dreams. Donald's new colonial, Kathleen's college. I open the fridge, staring at untouched casseroles from neighbors, and close it hard. "I'll think about it," I tell him, but his voice turns cold. "We're not asking, Mom. Lisa's cousin Gregory has a buyer, cash offer. Start packing." My hand tightens on the phone. A month to dismantle 30 years of marriage, birthday parties, and heartbreaks nursed in this home. "I need to think," I repeat, and he hangs up, leaving silence heavier than grief. A neighbor's dog barks outside, life marching on while mine spins. I wander to Russell's study, where his desk holds decades of our plans. Beneath old tax returns, I find the folder. Bank statements, investment portfolios, the deed to a villa in Marbella, Spain, a retirement dream he'd kept secret. Photographs show whitewashed walls, a terrace over the Mediterranean. A place to watch sunsets, he'd said 6 months ago before his heart betrayed us. I trace the papers, my fingers trembling. He'd known our children's greed, their tendency to take without giving. "Let them think we're struggling," he'd said once, half joking. Now it feels like prophecy. My phone buzzes, Darlene, texting about the house sale, claiming Kathleen's excitement about me moving closer. I scroll for Kathleen's last message. Nothing since Christmas. The silence screams louder than their demands. They've moved on, treating Russell's death as an inconvenience, me as a burden. I return the folder to the drawer, but something shifts inside me, a spark beneath the ash of grief. Upstairs, I pull a suitcase from the closet, Russell's aftershave lingering on his shirts. Packing begins, not for Darlene's basement, but for something else entirely. A choice I haven't yet named, but one that feels like defiance. The suitcase sits open on the bed, a yawning invitation to change, but I hesitate, my fingers brushing Russell's wool sweater, the one he wore on chilly evenings in the garden. Its fibers still hold the faint earthiness of soil and his cologne, a scent that tugs at my chest like an unfinished conversation. I fold it carefully, placing it inside, not sure yet if it's coming with me or staying as a relic. Downstairs, the phone rings again. Darlene this time, her text from earlier evolving into a call. I answer, steeling myself. "Mom, Donald filled me in. I know this is tough, but selling makes sense. Kathleen's thrilled about you being closer." Her words drip with false enthusiasm, but I hear the undercurrent, the subtle push toward what benefits her most. I wander back to the study, the folder pulling me like a magnet. "Darlene agrees with me," Donald had said, "but she hasn't called since the funeral, hasn't asked how I'm sleeping or if the nights feel endless without Russell's steady breathing beside me." "When did you last talk to Kathleen about this?" I ask, flipping open the folder again, my eyes scanning the investment statements, balances that would shock them, built quietly over years of careful saving. Darlene pauses, then deflects. "We had family dinner. It's for the best." Family dinner without me, plotting my future like a boardroom deal. I think of Kathleen, my granddaughter, who baked cookies here summers ago, her laughter filling the kitchen as Russell taught her to plant tomatoes. But her calls stopped months back, perhaps nudged by Darlene's hints that I needed space. And the finances? I press. You told Donald I'm struggling? Another pause, longer. Well, Dad's pension isn't much. The house is a burden. The truth twists in my gut. They know nothing of the real picture. Russell had been meticulous, shielding our security from their endless asks. The villa deed stares up at me, its details crisp, fully paid, managed by a local company, ready for occupancy. He'd bought it 2 years ago, a surprise he'd revealed only to me in hushed excitement, photos of sun-drenched terraces and lemon groves. No one asking for anything, he'd whispered, his eyes twinkling. Now, it feels like a lifeline he'd woven in secret. I close the folder as Darlene prattles on about basement renovations, a kitchenette deducted from sale proceeds, an investment in my comfort, she calls it, like relocating a pet. How thoughtful, I say, my voice laced with sarcasm she misses. Mom, when was the last time you called just to chat? I counter, echoing my unspoken hurt. She stumbles. I've been busy with Kathleen's college, work. Expenses, tuition at $28,000, room and board, sorority fees. But she doesn't mention the $500 I send monthly, straight to Kathleen's account, $12,000 over 2 years, from my pension, unacknowledged. Does Kathleen know about that money? Silence. She knows we help, but not that it's from me. Not that her grandmother sacrifices for her dreams while they paint me as frail. The cold realization settles. They've crafted a narrative where I'm dependent, my contributions invisible. I end the call, my hands shaking not from sorrow, but awakening fury. Russell's desk drawer yields more. A small envelope with a bank card, pinned to a note in his script, Independence Fund. I haven't visited the lawyer yet, but this hints at layers I need to uncover. The next morning, sunlight filters through the curtains as I drive to Connie West's office, the leather and paper scent reminding me of Russell's study, but charged with possibility. Connie, sharp in her 50s with silver-streaked hair, spreads documents across her desk. Mrs. Michelle Lawson. This is unusual. Russell's revocable trust gives me full control. No children as beneficiaries on real estate, only life insurance. The house, investments, Spain, all mine. He anticipated pressure, she says, her eyes knowing. Pressure. A polite veil for Donald's demands, Darlene's guilting. The Spanish property, undisclosed until now, per his instructions, 30 days post-death. Monthly reports from the management company confirm it's pristine, garden tended by neighbor Mrs. Rodriguez. I smooth my black dress, the funeral one, feeling steadier. Russell said I underestimated selfishness. Connie nods, tracing a page. The sale they mentioned? Impossible without your signature. Relief uncoils in me, a knot loosening after weeks of tightening grief. Then the letter, cream envelope, my name in his hand. My dearest Michelle, it begins, his voice leaping from the page. If you're reading this, I'm gone, and they're circling like vultures. You are capable, wise, don't let them convince otherwise. The assets are yours, choose for yourself. Put yourself first now. Travel, write that novel. The children will grow stronger without your constant sacrifice. With all my love, Russell. P.S. Key in desk drawer behind Venice photo. Mrs. Rodriguez speaks English. Tears blur the words as I read twice. He'd seen their entitlement, my tendency to yield. The Independence Fund, $50,000, deposited monthly for my freedom. Connie explains he removed them from deeds 3 years ago, after Donald's failed restaurant plea. Precognition, not harshness. I leave with documents, clarity blooming like the overgrown herbs outside. My phone rings. Donald again, impatient about Gregory's buyer. I ignore it, driving home with the wind whispering change. In the study, I find the key, brass Spanish flag keychain, behind our Venice photo, us laughing, unguarded. Happiness I'd forgotten amid years of giving. An email to Mrs. Rodriguez, I'm coming soon. Preparations? Her reply pings quickly, so sorry for your loss. House ready, garden beautiful. When? Next week. I type, heart racing. Packing resumes, not just clothes, but Donald's old trophies from his closet, wrapped carefully. Darlene's room next. School papers, the piano she abandoned. Boxes labeled, memories they'll want to keep safe. The moving truck books for tomorrow, coincidence or fate that the lead mover shares Pilar's last name? Donald's text flashes, need answer by tomorrow. Don't mess this up. I delete it, opening my laptop to research flights to Madrid. The garden outside calls for pruning, but it'll wait. Or perhaps flourish wild like me. Tension with the children simmers, their calls unanswered as I envision white walls, sea views. Russell's wisdom echoes, character built in struggle. Mine too, forged now in this quiet rebellion. The key in my hand feels like a talisman, its brass cool against my palm as I sit in Russell's study, the Venice photo propped beside me, our laughter frozen in time. I'm still reeling from Connie's office, her mahogany desk piled with documents that rewrite my future. Russell's letter lies open, his words a lifeline. You are not a burden to be managed. My fingers trace the bank card, $50,000, an independence fund he built in secret, monthly deposits from pension scraps and dividends I'd never tracked. He'd called it my freedom, not security, as if he knew I'd need permission to live for myself. Connie's voice echoes, the trust gives you complete control. No mortgage, no children on the deeds, the Spanish villa mine alone. They can't sell without me, despite Donald's cash offer buyer and Darlene's basement plans. Russell's foresight stuns me. He removed them from the house deed after Donald's restaurant fiasco, a plea for our retirement savings he'd dismissed as a sure thing. I'd thought him harsh then. Now I see genius. The phone buzzes. Lisa, Donald's wife, her first solo call in 5 years. Michelle, we need to discuss the sale. It's for your stability. Stability, as if my life's a crumbling bridge they must reinforce with their blueprints. I let it go to voicemail, picturing her in that colonial they covet, funded by my supposed ruin. Back home, I pack more of Donald's relics, baseball glove, high school diplomas, each item a tether to a boy who once clung to me after nightmares, now a man clutching sale papers. Darlene's boxes grow, her childhood sketches, a half-finished scrapbook. These aren't punishments, I tell myself, but gifts of memory they claim to cherish. The moving truck's confirmed for dawn, and I email Pilar Rodriguez again, confirming my arrival next week. Her reply is warm. The house waits, lemons ripening. Russell would be pleased. I imagine his smile, the one that crinkled his eyes when he showed me Marbella photos, promising sunsets without demands. My phone rings. Donald, voice clipped. Mom, Gregory's client needs an answer. Don't delay. I cut him off. I'm not selling, Donald. The house is mine. Silence, then sputtering. You can't afford. I can. Your father made sure of it. I hang up. Heart pounding. Not with fear, but fire. Upstairs, I add Russell's sweater to my suitcase, its scent grounding me as I choose books for Spain, poetry, a blank journal. The memoir idea stirs, not the novel he'd urged, but a reckoning with motherhood's slow erosion, love twisted into obligation. Darlene's next call catches me in the kitchen, casseroles still untouched in the fridge. Mom, Donald says you're being irrational. Kathleen needs you close. I laugh, sharp and unintended. Does she know I've paid $12,000 for her college? $500 a month, Darlene, from my pension. Her silence is deafening, confirmation she hid it, letting Kathleen think her mother bore the burden. You didn't tell her, I say, not a question. It didn't matter, she stammers. It matters to me. I end the call, the fridge door slamming shut. Kathleen's last text, Christmas, a generic thank you, stings anew. They've painted me fragile, a prop in their story, not a woman with choices. I find Russell's letter again, rereading. Put yourself first. I'm trying, I whisper to his ghost, the room heavy with his absence. The garden outside, wild and unpruned, mirrors my unraveling restraint. Another text from Lisa. Michelle, let's talk. Donald's upset. I delete it, picturing the Mediterranean, its waves a rhythm I crave. Connie's final words linger. The villa's ready whenever you choose. Choice, a word I'd forgotten under decades of duty. I book the flight to Madrid, 13 hours to clarity, and pack Russell's Venice photo. It's joy, a promise I'm chasing. Donald's trophies, Darlene's piano, they'll arrive at their doors tomorrow, unasked for but undeniable. My phone buzzes again. Kathleen, unexpectedly. I hesitate, thumb hovering, but don't answer. Not yet. Her voice, young and untainted, deserves truth, but I need space to find mine first. The suitcase zips shut, heavier with purpose than clothes. Pilar's email pings bring light dresses. Marbella's warm. I smile, imagining sunlight on my skin, no longer foreign in my own reflection. The house creaks, a familiar groan, but it's not home anymore. It's a chapter closing. Spain waits, not as escape but rebirth, Russell's gift unwrapped at last. I sleep that night, the first time in weeks without waking to grief's chokehold, dreaming of lemon groves and a terrace where I'll write my story, not theirs. The suitcase is half packed, Russell's sweater folded beside my sundresses. when the doorbell chimes at dawn, sharp and insistent like a warning. The movers, right on time, are led by a man named Rodriguez. Ironic, like a nod from Russell's humor across the sea. I hand him addresses. Donald's at 247 Maple Street, Darlene's at 892 Pine Avenue. Tell them these are gifts from Michelle Lawson, I say, gesturing to the boxes of their childhood. Trophies, papers, Darlene's abandoned piano. Rodriguez nods, his slight smile hinting at stories he's seen unfold in his 20 years of moving. I'm in the red dress Russell loved, its vibrancy a quiet rebellion against the grieving widow they expect. Donald's car screeches into the driveway, his yellow suit screaming business, a manila folder clutched like a weapon. "Mom, what's going on?" he demands, pushing past me, eyes darting to the boxes labeled with his name. "Why are you packing my stuff?" His voice is teenage petulance reborn, flushed with the same red that crept up his neck when caught lying years ago. "Memories are precious," I say, leaning against the door, watching him pace. "I thought you'd want them." He snaps about Gregory's buyer, needing my signature today, but I steer him to the staircase. "Sit, Donald." My tone, steady and unfamiliar, stops him cold. He sits, folder crinkling. "Where did you tell Gregory's client the money from this house would go?" I ask, voice calm but cutting. His jaw tightens. "You're not thinking clearly, Mom. Grief clouds judgment." I step to Russell's chair, soon to be his whether he wants it or not. "Did you ask how I'm handling Dad's death? If I'm sleeping, eating, lonely?" Silence. His eyes avoid mine, the folder his only shield. I pull out my phone, calculator app open. "If you sold this house for $350,000, split after costs, you and Darlene get $160,000 each. Right?" His face pales, he knows I've caught him. "Tell me about Dad's pension," I say. "How much do you think it pays?" He stammers, but I answer, $4,200 monthly plus Social Security, dividends you never asked about. The moving truck rumbles outside, loading his chair. "You lied to us," he accuses, standing. "You assumed," I correct, holding the folder he dropped, Gregory's letterhead glaring. "You wanted me struggling to justify this." The phone rings, Darlene. I answer on speaker. "Mom, there's a truck delivering a piano I don't want," she shrieks. "Your piano from age 8, I say. "I thought you'd cherish it." She rants about the house sale, but I cut through. "The house isn't for sale, it's mine. Russell's gift." Her silence matches Donald's, siblings caught in their own trap. "Donald said you couldn't afford." "He was wrong," I interrupt, listing the $12,000 I've sent Kathleen, unacknowledged by either. Darlene fumbles, admitting Kathleen thinks the money's from her. "You hit it," I say, cold anger rising. "You let her believe I'm fragile, not funding her dreams." Donald grabs for the folder, but I hold it back. "Mom, be reasonable. We can find you an apartment, something manageable." "Manageable for whom?" I ask, the question a blade. Darlene's voice cracks through the speaker, accusing me of playing games, but I end the call, turning to Donald. "Your truck arrives in 30 minutes. Make room." He scrambles, papers scattering, pleading for a family dinner to fix this. I laugh, surprising myself. "What I want is to live without your hands extended, to be missed for me, not my money." He bends for his papers, desperate, but I open the door, sunlight flooding in. "Where are you going?" he asks. "Somewhere warm," I say, smiling, the first real one in months. The movers finish, Rodriguez tipping his cap. I'm alone again, the house quieter but lighter. I email Pilar. "Arriving next week? Anything to prepare?" Her reply is swift. "Just your heart. House is ready." I add the Venice photo to my suitcase. Russell's eyes brighten memory. My laptop shows a booked flight to Madrid, 13 hours away. Kathleen's missed call lingers on my phone. Her voice, young and searching, waits for tomorrow. I pack a journal, the memoir's first lines forming. Not a novel, but a truth about love's cost. The garden outside, wild and unpruned, feels like a mirror. I'm not escaping, I realize, but stepping into a life Russell saw for me. Free, unburdened, mine. Donald's plea echoes, "You can't disappear." But I'm not disappearing, I'm appearing, perhaps for the first time. The moving truck's engine fades as it pulls away, leaving a hollow quiet in the house, broken only by the creak of the floorboards under my feet. I stand in the hallway, the red dress catching the morning light, its boldness a shield against the memory of Donald's flushed face and scattered papers. His plea, "We can fix this," lingers like a bad aftertaste, but I'm already turning toward the suitcase upstairs, its contents a bridge to Spain. The phone buzzes again, Lisa's name flashing, her voice soft but strategic in the voicemail. Michelle, let's talk calmly. Donald's distraught. Distraught, as if his distress outweighs my decades of sacrifice. I delete it, picturing the Marbella Villa's white walls, a canvas for a life I'm only beginning to imagine. In Russell's study, I pack the last items, his fountain pen, the journal I've started scribbling in, each word a step toward reclaiming myself. The brass key with the Spanish flag keychain sits on the desk, glinting like a promise. I'm halfway through zipping the suitcase when Kathleen's call comes, her name on the screen a jolt after months of silence. I answer, cautious, her voice sharp with urgency. Grandma, I've been trying to reach you. Mom and Uncle Donald are lying about everything. She's crying, words tumbling fast. Mom told me yesterday, you've been sending me $500 a month for college. 2 years, Grandma. Why didn't I know? The pain in her voice slices through me, but it's clean, honest. Your mother thought it was better, I say, sinking into a terrace chair in my mind, the Mediterranean's rhythm steadying me. Better for her, Kathleen snaps, so she could pretend it was her sacrifice. I nod, though she can't see the garden outside my window wild and unyielding. They said you were fragile, that I shouldn't call too much, she continues, voice cracking. I believed them, Grandma, I'm so ashamed. I tell her she has nothing to be ashamed of. She trusted her mother, as I trusted my children, only to find their love conditional. Where are you? She asks. Spain, I say, surprising myself with the ease of it. Your grandfather's dream house on a terrace overlooking the sea. Her pause is heavy, then soft. Is it beautiful? The most beautiful place I've ever seen, I reply, meaning it. She asks to visit, to cancel her Cancun spring break and come to Marbella instead. I want to meet the real you, she says, fierce and determined. We hang up, and I feel lighter, as if her call has loosened another knot of grief. The flight to Madrid is tomorrow, and I spend the day finalizing bank transfers, travel insurance, a note to the neighbors about the garden. Pilar's email arrives. House is ready, lemons blooming, bring your smile. I do, faintly, as I board the plane. Russell's window seat choice a quiet tribute. The 13-hour flight stretches like a dream, the Atlantic below a vast promise. I ignore the buzzing phone. Donald, Darlene, Lisa, their voicemails a chorus of desperation I no longer owe. The retiree beside me tries small talk, but my silence wards her off. I'm not ready for casual confessions when I'm still discovering my own. Madrid's customs officer, a young woman with kind eyes, stamps my passport. Purpose of visit? Starting over, I say, earning her genuine smile. Pilar waits in arrivals, her silver hair in an elegant bun, holding a sign with my name. Her embrace is warm, unexpected, like family I didn't know I had. Russell spoke of you often, she says, driving through Marbella's winding streets, her English musical. He said, my Michelle will make this kitchen sing. My throat tightens. Russell planned this haven, imagining me here. The villa steals my breath. Whitewashed walls, blue shutters, bougainvillea spilling over the garden. Inside, terracotta floors gleam, copper pots hang in a kitchen tiled in sea blues. Pilar shows me the stocked fridge, bread, cheese, wine, and points to her house nearby. Neighbors are family here, she says, leaving me to unpack. I hang Russell's sweater, place the Venice photo by the bed, and pour wine on the terrace. The Mediterranean glows gold, waves a steady heartbeat. My phone rings, Kathleen again, but I let it rest, savoring the silence. Tomorrow I'll answer. Tonight, I'm alone but not lonely, the sea whispering Russell's love, urging me to live. The terrace chair cradles me as the sun dips lower, wine glass half empty, the Mediterranean's gold fading to indigo. Kathleen's call lingers, her fierce apology a balm I didn't know I needed, but the peace here is mine first, a fragile thing I'm guarding. My phone buzzes again, Darlene's name, but I silence it, letting the waves drown the digital intrusion. For 4 days, their messages have piled up, apologies turning desperate, threats of loneliness I now see as empty. Fine, Mom. You want to play games? 2 can play. Darlene's last one felt like freedom, not a wound. I turned off the phone that night, and haven't looked back. Pilar's light flickers in her window nearby, a neighborly beacon. She'll show me the village tomorrow, but tonight, I unpack slowly, deliberately. Russell's sweater in the closet, its scent mingling with the sea air through open windows. The clawfoot tub waits in the bathroom, and I draw a bath, steam rising like my unspoken dreams. Sinking in, I think of the memoir's first pages, scribbled on the plain. Not a tale of loss, but of awakening, motherhood's quiet theft revealed. Morning brings Pilar at the door, coffee in hand, her smile crinkling like well-loved leather. "Come we walk," she says, leading me through cobblestone streets where shopkeepers nod greetings, their Spanish a melody I vow to learn. The baker hands me a warm loaf, for Russell's Michelle, and I blush, touched by his legacy here. Pilar points out Miguel, the retired professor down the street, offering lessons. "Your husband said you have a writer's soul." I nod, the journal in my bag heavier with possibility. Back at the villa, I prune the lemon trees, hands in soil for the first time since Russell's death, the tart scent sharp and alive. Lunch is simple, cheese, bread, olives on the terrace, and I write, words flowing about the house that felt foreign, children who became strangers. The afternoon sun warms my skin, and I nap, dreamless for once. Evening, I explore the cove beach alone, pine path winding to sand where waves lap gently. Sitting on a blanket, I watch sailboats, feeling the Independence Fund's weight in my account. Not just money, but permission. My phone, powered on briefly, shows missed calls, but I ignore them, texting Kathleen instead. "Safe in Spain. Beautiful here. Visit soon?" Her reply is instant. "Yes. Spring break in 3 weeks. Can't wait." The next days blur into routine. Morning walks with Pilar, Spanish phrases stumbled over coffee, afternoons writing as the sea provides rhythm. Miguel's lessons start, verbs conjugated on the terrace, his stories of Madrid inspiring chapters on reinvention. I cook for the first time, paella from local markets, copper pots singing as Russell predicted. Grief visits in quiet moments, Russell's empty side of the bed. But it's softer here, woven with gratitude for his foresight. One evening, Pilar invites me for dinner, her home cozy with pottery she makes. "Russell worried you'd be alone," she says, serving stew. "But you are strong." I share about the children, their betrayal, and she nods. Family is chosen sometimes. Her words echo as I return home, the stars overhead brighter than in America. I check voicemails once. Donald's upset tone, Lisa's mediation attempt, Darlene's anger about Kathleen's questions. "She's furious about the money, Mom. Don't poison her against us." I delete them, no reply needed. Kathleen calls again, her voice steadier. "Grandma, I've told Mom I'm coming to see you. She's not happy, but I don't care." We talk for hours, her outrage at the lies giving way to curiosity about Spain. "Tell me about the house," she says, and I describe the bougainvillea, the terrace sunsets. "Grandpa knew you'd need it," she whispers. Hanging up, I feel connected, not isolated. The memoir grows, pages on Russell's letter, the confrontation with Donald, truths unburied. I email Connie, "All settled, thank you for everything." Her reply, "Russell would be proud." As weeks pass, my hair gets a trim at Pilar's salon, shorter and freer, matching the tan from beach walks. I join a pottery class with her, clay shaping under my hands like my new life. Kathleen's arrival nears, and I prepare a room, fresh linens and lemons on the sill. The villa feels lived in now, not a dream but home. My phone stays mostly off, their desperation a distant hum. "I'm thriving," whispers Russell in the waves, and I believe him. The villa's terrace is bathed in morning light, the Mediterranean sparkling like a promise kept, as I arrange a vase of fresh lemons for Kathleen's arrival tomorrow. My journal lies open beside me, pages filled with reflections on love's cost, the words sharper since Spain became home. Pilar's laughter drifts from her garden next door, where she's pruning roses, and I smile, grateful for her warmth stitching me into this village's rhythm. The phone, mostly silent now, holds no new messages from Donald or Darlene. Their voicemails stopped 2 days ago, perhaps exhausted by my silence. But Kathleen's call last night burns bright in my memory, her voice raw with betrayal and resolve. "Grandma, I told Mom I know about the 12,000 you sent me," she'd said, tears breaking through. She admitted it, but said it was to protect me from feeling obligated. Obligated, as if your love was a debt. I'd listened, heart aching for her disillusionment, but proud of her clarity. "I'm coming to see you," she'd insisted, "to know you, not their version." Now, I'm preparing her room, smoothing linens, imagining her laughter filling this quiet house. The flight from Madrid lands soon, and I'm nervous, not for her judgment, but for the weight of truth we'll share. I walk to the village with Pilar, buying bread and figs for Kathleen's welcome dinner, the baker teasing my improving Spanish. Miguel joins us at the cafe, his literature stories sparking ideas for my memoir, how grief reshaped me, not into fragility, but strength. Back home, I cook paella, the copper pots gleaming as I stir, Russell's prediction of this kitchen singing now reality. The phone rings as I set the table. Kathleen from the airport. "Grandma, I'm here." Her voice is bright, no trace of the sobs from before. "I'm on my way to Malaga's terminal." I laugh, relief flooding me, and arrange with Pilar to drive together. At the airport, Kathleen emerges transformed, jeans faded, hair in a messy bun, no Instagram polish, just a smile that lights her face. She drops her backpack, running to me, her hug fierce and unscripted, unlike the perfunctory embraces of family gatherings. "You look amazing," she says, studying my tan, my shorter hair. "Like yourself." Pilar beams, ushering us to the car, and Kathleen's eyes widen at the olive groves, at the whitewashed villages. "This is Grandpa's dream," she breathes, stepping into the villa's garden, bougainvillea vibrant against the walls. She pauses, tears glistening. "He knew you needed this." We sit on the terrace, Pilar's paella steaming between us, and Kathleen demands, "Tell me about your life here." I share the walks, the Spanish lessons, the memoir about motherhood's quiet sacrifices. Her eyes widen at the book. "Grandma, I never knew you wanted to write." I confess I didn't either, not until silence let me hear myself. She grows quiet, then says, "Mom called yesterday, tried to stop me, said you're having a breakdown, that I'd make it worse." I tense, but she continues, "I asked why she hasn't come to check on you, why they talk about you like a problem." Her voice hardens. She had no answer. I nod, the betrayal familiar but dulled by this new life. "Kathleen, they're still your family," I say gently. "No," she snaps. "They chose sides when they lied about you, used me to control you." Her clarity stuns me. She sees their manipulation, how they painted me fragile to justify their demands. "They kept me from you," she says, voice breaking again. "I almost believed I shouldn't call, that you needed space." I reach for her hand, warm and trembling. "You're here now." We talk late into the night, stars above the sea, about Russell's foresight, my rediscovery, her college life shaped by others' by expectations. She apologizes again, but I stop her. "You trusted them. That's not your fault." She shakes her head, fierce. "I want to be better, Grandma. To call because I miss you, not because I need something." Her words echo Russell's letter, and I feel him here in her resolve. We plan her week, village walks, beach picnics, pottery with Pilar. As she heads to bed, she hugs me again, whispering, "I'm so glad I came." I sit alone after, the waves a steady pulse, my memoir waiting. Kathleen's visit feels like a bridge, not just to her, but to the woman I'm becoming, seen, not for what I give, but who I am. Kathleen's laughter fills the villa's garden as she fumbles with a clay pot under Pilar's patient guidance. Her hands smeared with earth, her face free of the polished mask I once knew. It's been 3 days since she arrived, and the Mediterranean sun has kissed her cheeks, mirroring the tan I've earned from weeks of village walks. We've fallen into a rhythm, mornings exploring Marbella's cobblestone streets, afternoons writing or reading on the terrace, evenings sharing stories over wine and Pilar's stews. My memoir grows, pages thick with truths about love's erosion, but now laced with hope, inspired by Kathleen's fierce awakening. She's different here, unburdened by her mother's expectations, her questions about my life before motherhood pulling stories I'd buried, my college poetry phase, Russell's proposal under a harvest moon. "Grandma, you're a romantic," she teases, but her eyes shine with admiration. Today, we're at the hidden cove, blankets spread on the sand, a picnic of figs and sandwiches between us. "Can I ask something personal?" Kathleen says, her voice tentative. I nod, slicing cheese. "Are you going back?" The question catches me, waves lapping as I consider. "I don't know," I admit. "Legally, I could stay. Russell planned for everything. Residency, healthcare." She chews thoughtfully. "I think you should stay. Let Mom and Uncle Donald figure out their lives without your safety net." Her certainty startles me, but it's not pushy like theirs, it's protective, rooting for me. "And me," she adds. "I want to transfer here, maybe Malaga or Madrid. Study abroad, learn Spanish, work with Pilar's pottery." I blink, stunned. "That's a big choice, Kathleen." "So was coming here," she counters, grinning like Russell. "I'm awake now, Grandma. I want to live for me, like you are." Her words stir warmth, a mirror to my own rebellion. That evening, we call her university, arranging a leave of absence for independent study. Pilar, thrilled, confirms a pottery apprenticeship. Kathleen's last call is to Darlene. her voice steady on speaker. Mom, I'm staying in Spain longer. No, it's not a breakdown, it's a breakthrough. Darlene's protests crackle, but Kathleen cuts through. I'm choosing Grandma because she sees me, not what I can provide. She hangs up, phone off, and smiles at me. Any regrets? I ask. Just that I didn't know you sooner, she says, Russell's eyes in hers. We sit under the stars, the sea's rhythm, our soundtrack, and I realize my story has shifted, from loss to finding, from duty to freedom. Kathleen joins my walks, charming Miguel with her Spanish attempts, listening as he calls me a writer of small moments. At the Cove again, she asks about my dreams before family, and I share half-forgotten hopes. A book, travel, quiet mornings alone. You're living them now, she says, and I nod, the memoir's pages proof. She talks of her own plans. A gap year, maybe a degree here, a life not scripted by others. You showed me how, she says, squeezing my hand. As her spring break ends, she extends her stay, and we plan a summer of pottery, writing, and village festivals. Pilar calls us family, and I feel it. Chosen, not obligated. My phone stays off. Donald and Darlene's silence speaks louder than their pleas ever did. Kathleen's presence heals wounds I didn't name. Her choice to stay a gift Russell couldn't have foreseen, but would have loved. The sun sets slowly, painting the terrace in soft pinks, and I watch Kathleen sketch the sea, her pencil tracing waves with care. The memoir waits, but I pause, letting the moment linger. Her quiet humming, the lemon scent drifting, the gentle crash below. Grief hasn't vanished, but it's woven into something warmer, a tapestry of new beginnings. I think of Russell's letter, his faith in my strength, and Kathleen's fierce love, a bridge across generations. The villa holds us, its walls whispering peace, and I know I'm not just surviving, I'm home. As stars emerge, I sip wine, Kathleen's laughter soft beside me, and the world feels right, fading to a whisper of hope.